The life of a Tinfister is more or less simple. You live by one code, and that's to always do the right thing. But in Kenshi, the right thing usually leads to more trouble. One thing is clear. It's Vagabond's world now. And we're all just living in it. Vagabond was headed towards the now freed Southwest United Cities to assess the damage she had inadvertently caused. She could count on Longstoat to take care of the people of Stoat. The Tinfister HQ in Shem was running business as usual, and Ludwig was providing a safe resting place for allies traversing the desert. She made her first stop in Morn to find anyone recruitable who could help build shelters in the southwest. That's where she found Hergen, the cook, and Benny, the special and strong. She would protect both of them as they made a long, dangerous trip to Drifter's Last. Meanwhile, Bo had made a run to the way station in the border zone, and upon entering the bar, interviewed a doctor named Halbert. The team was now short a medical professional, so she hired him to join the Tinfisters. Things did not bode well for Vagabond and the boys in the south, as Vagabond fought off a beak thing, and Benny was cornered by wolves. Hergen, however, was cruising to Drifter's Last, and Benny was dying. Vagabond was stuck fighting this beak thing, and I realized that Benny hadn't even made it out of Morn yet when he was attacked by the wolves, and Hergen had moseyed way too far to be able to save him in time, so Benny, we hardly knew ye. Now, rebuilding entire cities was becoming quite expensive. So what is the best way to make money in Kenshi? Drug smuggling. Bo bought as much hashish as the Tinfisters could afford and ran all the way through to anti-slaver Trader's Edge because, at over 1,300% markup, that's easy money. There was only one building for sale in rebel farmer-controlled Drifter's Last. Truly, it had not been seriously destroyed, and I considered setting Hergen up somewhere else. But the fact is, the people were still starving, and the Tinfisters needed a far south outpost. So we set up his dry soup kitchen here. When his shack was set up for serving the community, Vagabond felt confident in him to take care of things and headed off into the desert for the next step of Reconstruction. On the other side of the map, Bo was making her way to Heft and had found a fan club of anti-slavers to follow her. And our good friend Longstoat was busy up in Stoat producing the driest of meats, part of a balanced Kenshi diet. He also purchased a storm house next door to the Longhouse in an attempt to build some kind of infirmary for the injured after the skimmer attack through town a few nights back. In the eye, Ludwig now had enough water to make some chew sticks, but no cactus for said chew sticks, so I sent him to do some shopping. Bo arrived just outside of Heft, and we saw that it was now under control of the tech hunters, anti-slavers, and Empire peasants. Perfect timing. She could now set up a base and establish a Tinfister presence in the former capital city itself. She recruited 2 new Tinfisters in the bar, a Czech woman apparently of Irish descent, a Wend, and a Greenlander with some serious insecurity, Krilfa. The 3 purchased the first building inside the gates of Heft, only to find that we would need copper alloy plates to fully repair it. Bo also purchased and began repairs on destroyed storm houses in the city. Up in Stoat, Longstoat recruited another member to his squad, a Hive soldier drone named Rasp. But with his recruitment, there went the rest of the Tinfisters' cats once again. Vagabond made her way into Shark in the dark of the night in hopes of finding some hashish and maybe someone to do these runs for her. Inside the dancing skeleton, she found a down-on-her-luck farmer named Mute, drinking her troubles away. She could be useful to keep around for sure. As she interviewed more potential recruits, someone yelled from outside, "How's it going, pork chop?" Naturally, this demanded some investigation. His name was Trevor, which I thought was a strange name for Kenshi. He was crude, some might say outright unpleasant, and he spoke of his old crew. The leader was named Michael, also a strange name for Kenshi. Then there was Franklin and... Oh, you're from the Strangers and Freaks mod I have installed, aren't you, Trevor? Yeah, ain't no doubt about it, you're our drug-running guy for sure. And like I said earlier, the Tinfisters are broke now. Rebuilding an empire is quite expensive. So we may have acquired this round of hashish through less honest means, but it's for a good cause, so it's okay. The three of them, now bogged down with loads of hashish, made their way east to make some real fucking money. Vagabond dropped Mew off at home and grabbed the hashish from her inventory. She was much weaker than Trevor or Vagabond, so didn't want to risk losing another member of the team right off the bat. She could train and help with the farms at the HQ. On the way to Trader's Edge, they stopped in at Ludwig's place to check in with the I Squad. Things were looking good and they hadn't been attacked for a few days, so then it was on with the drug smuggling journey. I didn't even think about having to fence the stolen hashish, but luckily things usually work out pretty good for Vagabond and she had a 110% chance to fence it all in Trader's Edge. Just like that, the Tinfisters had over 29,000 cats. That'd be enough for a while. None of the local traders had any backpacks for sale, however, so I sent the two to the next closest city, which was Heft. They ran north, and I realized I could check with Bo to see if the traders in Heft had any that we could grab, which they did. She also needed building materials so that we could restore all the damaged buildings in Heft, although she still needed copper alloy plates for that large building by the gates. With the new addition of the official Heft squad, we now had 5 functioning squads of Tinfisters making the world a better place. I sent Trevor back to Trader's Edge for his own safety. Or something. I'm not entirely sure why. I usually play Kenshi in the dead of night when everyone's asleep and after taking care of babies all day, so future me occasionally has questions for past me. But Vagabond arrived in Heft, took all the long bolts from Bo to give to Naifari when she went back through Shem, apparently forgetting she wouldn't pass through Shem for quite some time and the bolts would now occupy valuable inventory space for Vagabond. Know who crosses through Shem a lot these days? Trevor. Vagabond also gave Bo some ration packs, because keeping new recruits fed was also getting expensive and ration packs kept a body fed for quite some time. At the Tinfister HQ, the Western Hive caravan dropped by, so Mew bought some more books because Okron knows we need some better tech, especially out there in the Eye. Vagabond then went to check on Shobatai, which she was pleased to see was under control of the rebel farmers. They would need a cook here too. However, an invisible barrier straight up prevented Vagabond from entering Shobatai, and I said fuck it. If they aren't gonna let me in, we just aren't gonna feed them till they do. You brought this on yourself, Shobatai. As she ran away to the next stop, she encountered a whole new problem. Cannibal tribes in the Great Desert. Come to think of it, I hadn't seen many Yabuta outlaws for quite some time. Whatever happened, Yabuta outlaws were gone, so now cannibals were here and would need to be taken care of. In Drifter's Last, Hergen was on the lookout for some more recruits to join the cause when he came across Crick, supposedly an extremely skilled swordsman. He promised us a blessing of good fortune if we gave him 3,000 cats, so obviously it was the deal of a lifetime because the Tinfisters were always in need of some good fortune, so we took him on. I hadn't realized earlier that these little shacks in front of the city were also up for sale, so Crick took one for himself and set up a bed, a lantern, and a partition because we don't need to see what Crick does in the privacy of his sleeping bag. In the Eye, Ludwig still had no cactus. But he did have 20 potatoes, so he queued up to cook some baked potatoes rather than chew sticks so the Eye Squad could eat some real fucking food. But, once again, they had some trouble when slave traders wandered into their safe house. I had completely forgotten to give them any kind of weapons after they were enslaved the first time. While I approve of everyone getting some martial arts training in, these are not the ideal guys to be training on. The closest Tinfister who could help was Big Bo coming from Heft, so I sent her on a high-priority mission to prevent our friends from becoming enslaved a second time. She ran and started binking everybody. If she could knock them out, drag them outside, and remove their weapons and healing, we had a much better chance of beating them. They did that, and as the slavers slowly started waking up, they were much easier to deal with because they suck at Kung Fu. Now this guy. I like this guy's hat. He looks like a fucking redneck and I'm here for it. I thought Ludwig and Singh were deserving of such hats. Yeah. Now Ludwig looked like he was gonna ask if you can bring beer to the kid's birthday party. And just when the fighting had come to an end, a team of anti-slavers came to bodyguard Bo. Kinda wish they would have picked Ludwig, but when you get free help in Kenshi, it does no good to complain. Ludwig and Bo distributed weapons, equipment, and food among the rest of the Eye Squad. Just in time for some grass pirates to come and harass the slave traders as they awoke. When they tried to infiltrate the camp, the anti-slavers took a whole 7 seconds to whoop their asses. At Longstoat's place, we were adding some upgrades to make the place a little cozier, a little more welcoming. welcoming and also expand our offerings. However, no one in Stoat had any iron plates, so the water tank would have to wait, as well as other offerings. Bo, on the other hand, was able to find the copper plates she needed for her building in Heft, until she spent all of our goddamn cats on it. Every repaired building needed supplies. Every new squad needed food and equipment. By the time the Tinfisters had established themselves across the old empire, most of their drug money was already gone. Like I said before, it ain't always easy being a Tinfister. You're broke, exhausted, constantly under attack by everyone and their mother, and when you finally get some cats, they're gone. But one thing's for sure, your conscience is always clear.